For centuries, marriage was seen as the cornerstone of society, a sacred union, a rite of passage, and a symbol of stability. But today, that foundation seems to be cracking. Divorce is common, commitment is rare, and more people than ever are questioning whether marriage even makes sense anymore. Once upon a time, marriage was the ultimate goal, the fairy tale ending, the happily ever after we were all taught to chase. It was more than a celebration. It was a rite of passage, a sacred promise, a life built on forever. But somewhere along the way, the dream began to crack. Today, weddings trend on Instagram, but divorces trend in real life. Love songs still play on the radio, yet commitment seems harder than ever. And the question echoes louder with each generation. Is marriage still worth it? Or is it just a beautiful lie we keep telling ourselves? In an era of swipes, situationships, and self-love, the traditional relationship model is being challenged like never before. Some say we're evolving, others say we're lost. One thing's certain, the institution of marriage is on trial, and the verdict is far from unanimous. So let's dive into the heart of the controversy. Is marriage dead? And if it is, should we even bother anymore? The case for marriage. Being dead. Let's not sugarcoat it. The traditional institution of marriage is in decline. In countries like the US, over 40% of marriages end in divorce. Millennials and Gen Z are delaying marriage well into their 30s or skipping it altogether. The rise of hookup culture, dating apps, and situationships has made commitment seem unnecessary or even outdated. Some argue that marriage has become nothing more than a legal contract, a risky one at that. Weddings cost tens of thousands. Divorce can financially and emotionally ruin people. And for many, marriage no longer represents love, but control, expectation, or a trap. As one viral quote puts it, why buy the cow when the milk is free? Many believe we've outgrown marriage, that it's a relic of a past society where people needed each other to survive, economically and socially. Today, independence is the norm, and for some, marriage feels more like a burden than a blessing. The case for marriage still being relevant. But despite all the noise, millions still choose to marry, and they argue that it still matters. Marriage can offer emotional stability, partnership and purpose, stronger financial outcomes over time. And for those who want children, a foundation for raising a family. Data suggests that married people are generally happier and live longer. And maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't marriage itself, but how we approach it in today's fast-paced, disposable world. Marriage requires effort, maturity, and resilience, qualities that don't exactly thrive in a swipe-right culture. So the argument goes, don't blame the institution, blame the people who misuse it. The gender divide, a battle of blame. Here's where things get messy and where the real debate explodes. Many men are opting out of marriage, citing biased divorce laws, financial risks, and the fear of being used or abandoned. On the other side, women are more financially independent than ever before, meaning they don't need marriage for security. And with that independence comes a higher standard. Many women are simply unwilling to settle for marriage. Add to that the fading influence of religion and tradition, and what's left is a culture that values freedom over forever. Online, the battle rages on. Marriage is a scam to control women. It only benefits men. It's just outdated patriarchy. The fall of marriage is the fall of society. What's replacing marriage? As marriage declines, alternative models are gaining traction. Open relationships, polyamory, life partnerships without legal ties, co-parenting between friends. To some, this represents a healthier, more honest way of loving, free from societal pressure. To others, it's a chaotic mess that lacks structure, loyalty, or long-term vision. The question becomes, are we evolving or just running away from commitment?